First of all, would you please introduce yourself to our viewers and the Korean community?
Yes, hello. I am Attorney General Jason Miyare스. I'm the 48th Attorney General of the Commonwealth of Virginia. And so in that role, I am the Chief Law Enforcement Officer as that Attorney General. And I like to say I'm the people's protector. I protect whether it's people's civil rights or against major crimes or consumer protection. That's the role I view myself as Attorney General, as protecting the people.
Maybe you are first Hispanic elected Attorney General?
I am. I'm also the first child of an immigrant ever elected Attorney General of Virginia. My mother fled Cuba as a scared, homeless 19-year-old teenager. And so I love to tell people that if your family came to this country seeking hope and opportunity, there's a good chance your family is a lot like my family. And it has been an incredible honor to serve as the Attorney General of Virginia, having that mindset as the Attorney General.
After U.S. Supreme Court ruled against affirmative action in college admission, you called for university to end legacy admission. Why do you believe to end legacy admission?
Well, like so many children of or come from immigrant families, I was raised from an early age that education was the doorway to the American dream, and there was no limit to what I could achieve if I studied hard. And legacy admissions is this old system that was set up by too many universities that give preferential admissions to those that father or mother or grandparents attended that university. And I think that goes against the very best of what America is. The best of America is if you work hard, you can achieve your dream. And I simply don't appreciate or agree with this idea of taking away the position of someone who has the grades and the test scores and giving it to somebody that just because their father or their grandparent attended UVA or Virginia Tech, they could go. So I publicly asked for them to end legacy admissions. I think the very best of America is we recognize, chase your dream, and if you have the grades and you have the test scores, go to the school of your choice, and that's what I firmly believe as Attorney General.
You said UVA and Virginia Tech already announced and
yes.
legacy.
UVA and Virginia Tech have announced they're going to end their legacies. We're going to wait and see some of our other schools in Virginia, like William & Mary and others. But I've said both public and private should look at ending the legacy. It is something from a bygone era that has passed, and I believe that in this new diverse America and diverse Virginia, we should allow everybody to be able to chase their dreams regardless of their backgrounds.
What's going on your subpoena battle with Fairfax County Public School report?
Yeah. Well, we started an investigation in Fairfax County because we were really concerned. One of our largest sections in the Attorney General's office is the Office of Civil Rights. And that means no Virginian, no matter what their background, should be discriminated against because of who they are. And my concern is that we have too many Asian American students. They're being told they can't achieve their dreams simply because they're Korean American or whatever their background. And so we know this. We know that Fairfax Public Schools have TJ High School. It's one of the best high schools in the country. So many children have dreams to go there. And up to about 2 years ago, they had a merit-based system of admissions that said if you have the test grades and you have the grades, you could go. They then went to an equity-based system. We know they hired an equity consultant. The equity consultant's recommendation to the school board was you had to be willing to treat some students, in their words, purposefully unequally. Well, I don't want to live in Virginia where any child is treated purposefully unequally. And once they adopted this equity-based admissions plan away from the merit-based admissions plan, you saw a 20-point drop in Asian student enrollment at TJ High School. And that's exactly what we're digging into. We're investigating. We're obviously also looking at the fact that they withheld National Merit Award notification to some of our high schoolers as well. And so listen, if this is happening because they think or they were feeling they had too many Asian students enrolled there, then that, in my opinion, violates the Virginia Human Rights Act. It is our main civil rights act that we have in Virginia and state law. That's why we're doing this investigation. and it's ongoing, trying to get to the bottom of this. But this goes back to what I said earlier, that I view my role as Attorney General as the people's protector. That includes protecting our Korean American students from discrimination. If that's happening, we want to get to the bottom of it.
Back to school is coming. So do you have any specific plan to boost school safety?
Yeah, so I think the first thing a parent wants, and I have 3 school-age children, so I know when you take your child to the bus stop or you drop them off at school, even before an education, your first desire is make sure they come home safely. School safety is very, very personal to me. And that's why myself and the governor have been advocating for more SROs, school resource officers in our school. They provide that shield of protection for our kids. Now, some of our school districts pulled our SROs out of our schools, and I think you've seen very predictably some bad behavior that has happened in our schools. We want our kids in our schools. A child can't learn if the child doesn't feel safe. And so the governor has put in a record amount of money in his budget for new SROs, school resource officers, as do I. And we need to make sure that our school districts, our school administrators don't allow bullying, don't allow children to be coming in and being bullied by other children, have a zero tolerance for both weapons and illegal drugs, fentanyl that is taking too many of our children's lives. So I think we need a school area and our schools to be safe and a place for children to learn and thrive, not a place where children are looking over their shoulder in fear. No child should be looking over their shoulder in fear in Virginia.
What are you focusing on fighting crime, especially in Northern Virginia?
Well, we have seen an uptick of crime in Northern Virginia. The governor and I launched Operation Ceasefire, going after those using, particularly violent criminals, using guns in the commission of crimes. We've targeted 12 different localities in Virginia. Study after study shows that roughly 3 to 5% of violent criminals are committing over 50% of the violent crime. Over 50% of the violent crime being committed by just 3 to 5% of violent criminals. So if you want to lower violent crime, you go after those repeat violent offenders. That's exactly what we've aimed at with Operation Ceasefire. We've also seen too many of our small retail owners, our small merchants. We're seeing these organized retail crime groups that are coming in. There's no such thing as a victimless crime. If I'm a small business owner and I'm the first one to get there in the morning and I'm the last to leave at night, and I'm worrying every month how I'm going to make payroll and how I'm going to provide for my family, and I have some thief that comes in and is taking away product off the shelf or intimidating my customers, that's directly affecting my livelihood. And so I do think we've had a problem where some individuals have viewed this as, quote, victimless crime. That's not victimless to the shop owner and to the community at large. And so we're also really working with law enforcement on our organized retail crime. We're pushing for our organized retail crime task force as well, the work they're doing. So our office does a lot of work both in civil rights and also tackling major crime as well. We're excited about the work we're doing.
What do you think a Korean community can contribute to Commonwealth right now?
Well, if you look at where America is, it is so much of the very best of America are what I call new Americans. That's been the driving force so much of our economy. Close to 2/3 of all new PhDs are first or second generation Americans. And so the Korean American community has been a driving force economically in Northern Virginia. Close to 19% of everyone that lives in Northern Virginia are foreign born, and Virginia statewide is 12%. And so I think that is a remarkable driver of our economy because it brings this entrepreneurial spirit to Virginia. And so that's something I want to both embrace, encourage, and highlight, because we sometimes get lost when we hear about the Amazons or the Walmarts, the big corporations. Those are not the economic drivers of our country. 2/3 of all new jobs, 2 out of 3 jobs, new jobs created in America today, were created by small business owners. Those are the drivers of our economic engines. And what I have seen, whether it's the Cuban community or the Korean community or the Mexican American community, so many new immigrants that come to America, they have that amazing entrepreneurial spirit and that drive, and they're job creators. Those are the people that I want to encourage, because When I served in the General Assembly before I was Attorney General, I was on a poverty commission looking at what lifts people out of poverty. And I reached a conclusion that other than hearing the words, "I love you," the most important words a human being can hear in their life is, "You're hired." When you hear those words, that can have such an impact on your life. And it can be transformative. And so I've always had the attitude as an elected official, how do I make it easier, instead of harder, but easier for a small business owner to say those amazing, magical, transformative words, "You're hired," to more and more people. That's what I'm passionate about. And so, you know, with the Korean community, I've heard from so many also they're facing discrimination in our schools and also anti-Korean discrimination in the workplace, and then also hate crimes. And so my message would be, if anybody feels in Virginia that they are being the victims of discrimination, go to my website, ag.virginia.gov. We have the Office of Civil Rights. We will investigate if you feel like an employer is discriminating against you, or you're in discrimination at your place of school, or if you're the victim of a hate crime. Please contact the Office of the Attorney General. We will investigate. We will hold those accountable, because people that are living in this country, no matter what your background, should be chasing their dreams, not looking over their shoulder in fear. That's something I fervently believe in, and that's why, again, as the Attorney General, I view my role as the people's protector.
Thank you for your time.
So honored. So gracious. Thank you.